Yes, Iman? Yes, Iman? Okay. Yes, Saad, there will be a Kahoot. Yes, Zainab, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, when are we doing the Kahoot?
We will be doing it soon after half an hour, almost half an hour. Okay? Okay, Shafiq, you want to say something?
No, I don't want to say anything. Sorry.
Okay.
I
So
forgot to
again,
look my head.
whoever wants to leave, they can leave. The recording will be available. And whoever wants to stay and play the game, they can stay. Okay? And there is no restriction. You can eat, go to washroom, pray Salah. It's up to you. Okay? Okay, over to you, Khatija. Welcome.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, everybody. Most of you ended up staying, which I'm actually very impressed with. So good for you. Good for you. Okay, so what I will be talking about is Salah, all right? And it's basically from a book called Discover the Power of Salah. It's by Aliba Farheen, and I'll basically just be going over that book with you guys. Okay, and we're gonna figure out how Salah is actually very important, much more important than sometimes we think it is, and how amazing it is. Okay? Are you all with me? Please don't fall asleep. I promise. It's not boring. We will start with Bismillah though, of course. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. First of all, guys, Allah chose you. You are in this program right now. You're listening to me right now because Allah decided that you should. It was written for you, right? It's not just a coincidence. It's not just that, oh, my mom told me to. It's not just that, oh, my little sister's doing it, so I have to. Because Allah chose you, right? He's already calling you towards Him, and this is your chance to be a better Muslim, to um to learn more about your religion, okay? Our first chapter in this book is about an incredible meeting and an incredible gift, which basically starts off on one of the most difficult days of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's life. Okay, it was one of the greatest journeys of his life ever. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? One of the greatest journeys. There's already a hint on the presentation thing. Does anyone know? Are you guys muted or are you able to unmute yourselves? I have no idea. Hold on. Okay, there you go. You can unmute yourselves now. I want this to be a discussion. I don't want you guys to just listen to me because that's kind of boring.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I got a quick question though.
Okay.
Let's do questions at the end. Is
Wait,
that
I
okay?
got a question, just quickly. I'm almost done.
Okay, go ahead.
So I heard that we're having a Kahoot.
Oh yeah, Kahoot is at the end.
Are you
not
gonna
right
be
now.
sending the link on the chat?
Yep. All of that will be done later. But right now, let's just focus on this, okay?
All right.
All right. So,
All right. Oh, yeah.
does anyone know what I'm talking about when I talk about the greatest journey of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam?
Yes, I
Yeah.
know that journey.
Yes.
It's about
Yeah,
with Mi'raj. Everybody should know it.
Isra and Miraj, right? So, Angel Jibreel, he descended to earth. Who is that coming from? Where's father from? Okay. All right. So, Angel Jibreel, he descended to earth with an animal from heaven. It was the fastest animal creature ever that Allah has ever made. Faster than the fastest rockets that we know of. And it took Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam first to Palestine. Do you know what that animal is called? Who knows?
No.
No one knows what that animal is called? It's a really
called
fast
Buraq.
animal.
It's
Buraq,
called
yes.
It's
Buraq,
called
right?
it's called a
So,
mule. It's like a donkey and
no,
a
not a
horse
mule.
combined together.
Not a mule. This one's a buraq. This is the fastest animal
Buraq.
that has ever been created. And Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he rode on it and he rode all the way to Palestine. It was the faster than any rocket that you can ever imagine.
By the
Okay.
way, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but
It's okay.
geographically and geopolitically, the land used to be called Palestine until the Jews took over, and it's now called Israel.
Okay, that's a whole controversial topic, so we're not going to get into that. But hopefully Allah makes things better for people in Palestine. Inshallah, we should all make dua for them because they're our fellow Muslims, and we should hope for the best for them, okay? Anyways,
Thanks a lot
so
for the
from
Jews
there,
taking over.
from Palestine, Angel Jibreel took Muhammad ﷺ to above the heavens. He took him from above the heavens, and they kept on going higher, and they kept on going higher and higher until they reached a point that even Jibreel alayhi couldn't go. He couldn't even go past that. They kept on going higher and higher, and eventually there came a point where Angel Jibreel, he had to stop. He was like, Prophet Muhammad, I can't go past this. I'm literally not allowed to go past this. And then guess what happened? Angel Jibreel, he said, you need to continue now. You need to continue and continue going up on your own because I can't follow you now. This is my limit. So Muhammad ﷺ, he was like, okay. And he continues and he continues and he continues going higher and higher. And then guess what happens? Does anyone know what happens? What happens at this point? Muhammad ﷺ goes so high up that eventually he is right in front of Allah. Right in front of Allah. Like there's only a thin curtain of light that's between him and between Allah, right? So he can directly, he is right facing Allah, okay? Obviously not like actually looking at him, but he can hear him. He's so close to him that he can hear him, and there's only a curtain covering them, okay?
Okay.
He's right in front of Allah at this point. What do you think it would be like if you were right in front of Allah? What would it be like if Allah turned towards you? Like he turned his entire being towards you to focus on what you're saying. What would it be like to be in a private meeting with Allah, right? Talking to him, being in front of him. What would you do? What would you ask for? What do you think? What would you ask for? Tell me. Someone. Anyone.
Send me to Jannatul Firdaus.
Right? You would ask that, right? You would be like, oh, I want to go to Jannatul Firdaus. I want to stay here with you, Allah. And this is only a conversation that you can have with Allah in a private meeting, right? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Are you all following along? Thumbs up if you're following along. I want to
And
see
we
you
have
with
these
thumbs up.
private meetings 5 times a day.
Yeah, okay. You're all following along. Good. So when Muhammad ﷺ, he was in that meeting, Allah gave him a beautiful gift for his entire ummah, the gift of Salah, which is basically a private meeting time between you and Allah 5 times a day. So you know how you go to the doctor's appointment and you have to call and be like, oh, okay, I need a doctor's appointment now. How does 2 p.m. work? 2 p.m. on Thursday. That's only like a weekly thing, right? Or maybe a monthly thing. But with Allah, you have an appointment that's already given to you. Allah tells you the times. You already know what the times are, and it's 5 times a day. And you get to go to these meetings and you get to ask Allah, I want to go to Jannatul Firdaus. And you get to make dua about anything you want, anything in the entire world that you could ever want. Because nothing's impossible for Allah, right? All good? Are we following along?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, before we continue, I have a very interesting fact that I want you guys to think about, okay? Every other command, such as fasting, zakat, hajj, came down to the earth through Angel Jibreel, right? So Allah sent the news to Angel Jibreel and told him to tell Muhammad ﷺ. So then Angel Jibreel would go down and he would tell Muhammad ﷺ that now fasting is an obligation. You all have to fast now. You all have to go for hajj now. It is the 5 pillars of Islam, right? But there was one command that wasn't like this, right? It was the command of Salah. For this command, Allah actually called Muhammad ﷺ above the heavens, not even to the heavens, above the heavens, right? To a meeting with him, and then directly gave him this gift for his ummah. Why do you think so? Why is this such an important, like, why was this given so much specialty?
Because only the prophets did it.
Only
Pardon, you guys both spoke at the same time.
only prophets used to do it.
Only prophets used to do what?
Prayer.
Pray
Prayer.
to Allah. Talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Well, yeah, only prophets can talk to Allah, but what's so special about Salah? That it was a gift. It was a
We
gift for
can
us. It
talk to
wasn't
Allah
just a command.
subhanahu wa ta'ala too now.
Yeah.
It brings us closer to Allah. It brings us closer to Allah.
Exactly, right?
Communicate with
Yeah.
So remember, the next time that you're standing for your Salah, next time probably Zahar for a lot of you or Asr for a lot of you, the next time you're standing for your prayer, imagine yourself to be in the same way as Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was that day. Okay, imagine that Allah is right in front of you and He is giving you His undivided attention. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't see Allah in front of him that day, just like we also don't see Allah in front of us when we're praying. All he saw was light, and that's what you should imagine. So when you're praying, imagine this amazing light in front of you. Imagine that behind that light is Allah, and Allah is listening to you. He is facing you and He's listening to whatever you want to have. It's a conversation. It's a private meeting with Allah. And it's already pre-booked, so you don't even have to call and be like, hey, can I like meet up tonight, maybe? You know? Okay. So now let me ask you again. All right? What would you do when you meet Allah? What would you say? Would you be thinking about games? Would you be thinking about homework?
No.
Would you be thinking about like, I don't know. What would you be thinking about when you're praying or when you're having your meeting with us? Right?
At first, I thank Allah for what He had given me. Then I'd ask Him to go to Jannah Firdaus.
Yeah, so when you're praying, you want to give Him your attention as well, right? You want to pay attention because how long does praying take? Like 5 to 10 minutes? Not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes maximum, right? And in that 5 minutes, Allah is giving you all the attention in the world, all the attention in the universe, right? So we need to be pretty serious about this. All right. So in that meeting, right, in that meeting, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had first brought Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam up above the heavens, Allah had actually first ordered 50 prayers per day. 50. Can you imagine praying 50 times a day? That would basically be like praying twice every hour, not including sleep. So if you never sleep, if you never eat, if you never go to the bathroom, you are praying twice every single hour. Can you imagine that? So when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leaving with the command of 50 prayers a day, Musa alayhi salam was there. He met Musa alayhi salam. Okay, and Musa alayhi salam, he told him that this is going to be too much. Your people can't do this. Our ummah can't do this. It's too much for them. Go back and ask Allah to reduce it. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was like, oh, okay. And he went back and he requested Allah that it's going to be too much for the ummah. I think we need to reduce. I think we needed like a bit of a reduction. We can't have this much. So Allah was like, okay. And he reduced the amount and Allah accepted his request. And then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was okay, now it's reduced. So he goes back down and he meets Musa alayhi salam again. And Musa alayhi salam, he's like, no, this is still too much. This is still too much. Our ummah can't do this. Go back and request for a lesser amount of prayers. So then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes back and he asks Allah to reduce it again and again and again and again until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reduced it to 5 times a day. Think about it though. Why would Allah order 50? Didn't He already know that He was going to later change it to 5? That Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going to request that it be reduced, right? So Allah, of course, Allah knows everything, right? So He must have known that it was eventually going to be 5. Why would He make it 50 in the beginning? Any ideas? No ideas whatsoever? Just speak up, honestly. I don't mind.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Maybe he was trying to test Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's an interesting idea. That's a good idea. To test him to see what he would do, yeah. Any other ideas?
Maybe like see how he would react if he would say anything.
Oh, that's a good idea because honestly, if I were told that I have to pray 50 times a day, I would be quite shocked. Any
I have
other
a
ideas?
question.
Yep.
So see what
When
other
are we gonna
people.
start the game?
The game starts not right now.
And
So
Soon though,
when?
I promise. Soon though. Just as I finish this, there's gonna be another little lecture thingy with Isra. After that, I'm pretty sure we have the game, okay? So bear with me. We're almost done. We're
Who's
getting
Isra?
close to the end. Isra is another teacher. She's my cousin.
Oh, her.
Yeah,
You
her.
mention her a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So some of my reflections, okay, about why Allah had originally ordered 50. Maybe we're actually capable of doing 50. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed us, right? So he knows what we're all capable of. He knows that we could do 50, and it would have been hard, of course, it would have been extremely hard, but not impossible, right? It's not impossible to pray 50 times a day. The fact that Allah had actually ordered 50 shows us that we're actually capable of praying 50 times a day. But now we only have to do 5. It's a mercy, it's Allah's mercy that He reduced it to 5 times a day instead of having us pray like literally twice every hour. Because that's honestly very hard. Like, have you tried praying twice every hour? Like, no sleep, no nothing? No, right? It's very hard. And praying 5 times a day, it's so much easier than what we're actually capable of. It's not hard at all. It's so easy. Second idea, maybe, why Allah didn't already just say 5 prayers a day to start with. It's the mercy of Allah. It shows us the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how He changed the numbers of prayers from 50 to 5, but He didn't change the reward. Did you know that? Even if you pray 5 times a day, Allah rewards you like you're praying 50 times a day. Did you know that? So if you pray all 5 times a day, you pray Fajr, you pray Zuhr, you pray Asr, you pray Maghrib, you pray Isha, it's like you prayed 50 times a day and you get the reward of praying 50 times a day. SubhanAllah, isn't that so amazing? Allah is so merciful, right? That's so beautiful. Okay. Oh, this is a good question. Does Allah need your prayer?
Yes.
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 He does
Yes.
not.
Confident.
No, 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 no.
That's a very confident answer.
Yes.
Does Allah need your prayer? Does He need that you pray Fajr? You wake up at like 4 a.m. to pray Fajr or 3 a.m. No. That's boring.
Yes.
No, we need it.
Does He need it?
Nope.
No.
We need
Does,
it.
Yes.
does Allah have
Yes.
any benefit whatsoever?
We need it. We need
We
prayer.
need it. Yes, we do.
We need to talk to Allah.
We do need to talk to Allah. Okay, so I want to show you something. Does anyone know what this is? Can you see it? Are you able to see it? No, you're not.
What?
Yes. Okay.
No.
Does anyone know what that is?
What?
The
What?
picture.
I think that's
Space.
okay, and I don't know which one is Earth.
Space.
Space. It is space. This is actually a real picture taken by one of the most biggest and most, I don't know, complex telescopes of a bunch of galaxies. All these little dots you see, these are galaxies. Did you know, by the way, that there's more stars in the universe than there are specks of dust on Earth? Think about that for a second. There's more stars in the universe than there are specks of dust on Earth. Does that make sense? A little bit? Okay, I hope it does make sense. So in this picture, you can see many galaxies, each one with millions of gigantic stars and solar systems and planets. And somewhere in one of those galaxies in the universe is our solar system. And in that is a planet we call Earth. Right? Can you see Earth here? Can you see our galaxy here? Can you see our
No.
sun here? You can't see our sun here. In Ayatul Kursi, right? Allah, like Allahu la ilaha, I hope some of you know that at least. In Ayatul Kursi, Allah tells us that His throne is greater than the entire universe. This isn't even a half of the universe. There's probably so much more than this. And Allah's bigger than that. He's greater than that. So how small is the earth in front of Allah? How small are we in front of Allah? Can you imagine that? You can't even imagine that. It's too big of a comparison. So how can anyone think, right? How can anyone think
I can see you.
We would be like,
Bring the sand to Allah.
yeah, so how could anyone ever think that Allah would ever need anything
I can
from
see
them?
you.
How could we ever think that, oh, Allah needs our prayers? Allah doesn't need our prayers. We need to pray. We are the ones who need His love, and we're the ones who need His help. We need to thank Him so that we can be happy in our own lives. We need to praise Him so that we can be better, so that we can strengthen ourselves. And even though we're not even a dot in front of
I
Him,
can
He
hear you.
still appreciates our good actions. He still appreciates that you didn't waste your food. He still appreciates that you stopped to give a homeless guy your granola bar. He still appreciates that you didn't yell at someone, right? Even if it's what? Okay. Does that make sense? Are you all still focused?
Yeah.
A little bit? Yeah? Okay. I'm glad. And He still answers. Allah still answers you when you call Him. And most of all, He grants you His love when you strive for it, when you struggle for it, right? Does anyone know the 99 names of Allah? Or like the first, maybe? What's Allah's first, like, name? Well, there's
I
Allah, but
know.
what's His other name?
Allah Ar-Rahman,
Ar-Rahman, right? So Ar-Rahman, what does Ar-Rahman mean?
the merciful.
The most merciful, not just the merciful, the most merciful. And Allah's merciful with the amount of rewards He gives us, right? He loves us a lot. So we need to keep that in mind, and we need to make sure that whenever we are going for these appointments, that we should never be late. Okay? We need to be on time for these appointments because it's important. It's an important appointment, right? We don't even have to call to book these appointments. They're already there. They're already booked for you. All you have to do is put down a mat, put on a hijab. If you're a girl, if you're not a girl, then you do your man things. You do your wudu, and then you pray. And you're there for your appointment, and you don't even need to go anywhere. Isn't that so amazing?
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay.
Can you play now?
Play now. You are very excited to play. There's this one ayah. Does anyone want to read this ayah really quickly?
Yes, I will.
Are we gonna do Kahoot any minute now?
Kahoot, you are very excited for the Kahoot. You'll get to the Kahoot eventually, I promise.
So guys,
Okay,
why
who
don't you
wants to read
listen to
the
this this stuff which Khatija is teaching properly and patiently, because as a Muslim, we are practicing patience also here. And if you are not practicing the patience, as I said before, you guys can leave and come back, okay? So listen to the lecture now. Don't ask about the game again and again. Thank you so much.
Okay, does anyone want to read this ayah really quickly, and then we'll come closer to the end of my part, okay?
Okay.
Fazan, you want to read? You can unmute yourself and just read the Arabic. And someone else.
Okay. يا أيها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس وأنتم الفقراء إلى الله والله هو الغني الحميد.
Okay, that was good. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Does anyone want to read the English? Just unmute yourself and go for it.
O mankind, you are those in need of Allah, while Allah is free of need, the praiseworthy.
Do we all understand what this ayah means? That you are the ones who are in need of Allah. We're the ones who need Allah, and Allah is free of need. He doesn't need anyone. He's the one who should be praised. He's the one who should be given all thanks. He's the one who should be given all the love to. Well, of course, you give love to your family and everything as well, but like All of your gratitude, it should all go to Allah. Okay? Because He's having a private meeting with you, right? It's just you, one-on-one. And in your salah, it's just you and Him, the Lord of the worlds, right? The Lord of the entire universe. The being who's bigger than the entire universe has a private meeting booked with you 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Do you rush to it? Do you like you put on your hijab and you put down the jannah, you go, what do you do? So if you really think about it, it's incredible, right? It's amazing. Is there anyone in the entire world who could ever give you that much importance? Would a president or a prime minister or a king even give you that appointment? Even give you one appointment? Think about it for a little second, right? Just 1 second, just think about it. Even your mom and dad, like even your parents, do they turn to you 5 times a day and they say, okay, beta, okay, child, I'm going to sit down, I'll turn to you and I'll just listen to you. Talk to me, say anything you want. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, He does, right? 5 times a day, every single day, He has turned to you. He is waiting for you. He's waiting there. He's waiting to see if you're going to come to Him. Right? So are you taking advantage of the meeting or are you turning up late? Or are you even focused in the meeting? Right? So, yeah. That is it. Jazakallah khair. I hope you guys learned something. If you want to tell me anything that you've learned, that would also be amazing. But if you do not want to, that is good also, as long as you did learn something, okay? And yeah, that is it. So, yeah, pray Zahar. Zahar already happened for a bunch of you, I think, now. Okay? And that is it. Jazakallah khair.